Yo, what is up, YouTube? James Baek here, and today I'm here to bring the top 32 match of the Champions Cup. I have finished 8-1 in Swiss. That was the necessary need of me needing to get top cut at this tournament. And yeah, we are going to get into the match that I had. Today's opponent is going to be Justin Burns, aka Spurrific. If you don't know him, he has won multiple regional championships. He was the runner-up at the 2018 North American International Championship, and he has qualified for Day 2 Worlds several times. So me and Justin have played before. We played at a final of a regional. We have played at regionals twice now, I believe. I don't remember if we played more than twice. I'm pretty sure we played twice in 2019. I can confirm that. And then I don't think we've ever played before that, but maybe my memory is hazy. But so a little bit background of the set. So me and Justin knew each other's teams because one of my good friends, Brady, played him in Swiss in the other flight of this tournament. So I knew what Justin was running, and I pretty much assumed that Justin knew what I was running because I think I played one of his friends. I think my round 7, no, it was, I think my round 8 opponent was like good friends with him, and I was like pretty sure of that fact. So yeah, so I pretty much assumed that he would know what I was using. So the matchup is kind of difficult for me. Like, it's okay, but it really just depends on how well I play the matchup. I think this matchup basically goes down to getting the reads right and who gets the right aggression, because I think this matchup can depend on calling switches and calling positioning. So yeah, so what Justin's running is a similar team from Eduardo Cunha's second place Oceania Internet's team. It was adjusted. And of course, you know, I'm rocking the same team as always. The Dustclops, Dragapult, Sableye, Arcanine, Milotic, Fairfare, nothing special. But I knew that this was a match not to take it lightly because I know how good a player Justin is. And according to Brady, he was playing safe throughout the tournament. So, or at least in their set that they played. I think they played in like round 6 or something. Maybe it was round 5. But basically, I took that knowledge. I didn't really prep too much for this match. It is a separate day, by the way. The Swiss rounds 1 to 9 were all on a Saturday. In top 32, this was the first match of the day for us. Was on Sunday. So woke up and was just getting ready to play my match. I didn't really prep for it. I just thought I could go into it because like I felt like I had the tools and the resources I needed to utilize. I think my team had like a winning chance. So, and I didn't want to overthink the matchup because overthinking the matchup I feel like is pretty dire, especially in a matchup that's very volatile. So of course we got the team. We have Justin running the Dustclops, Tyranitar, Gastrodon, Arcanine, the Togekiss, and Durant. So I felt pretty much what I expected from Justin was the Tyranitar was probably going to come out. I felt Gastrodon was 100% going to come out because like my opponent is kind of weak to my Milotic otherwise. I felt that the Arcanine was going to come, and I was assuming probably Togekiss as the last Pokemon. I felt like Dustclaws was like alright here for my opponent, but I felt like you probably don't want to bring it against the Triple Ghost combination. And I felt like Durant could have been brought for sure, but yeah, at least like what I had is Justin most likely didn't know about my Trick Eject and Button Sableye, but I didn't think it was as reliable. I think I led my Milotic Fairforn immediately with Dustclops Arcanine in the back because I felt like these 4 were pretty solid to having a good winning chance here. As I don't want to lead the Dragapult Sableye immediately. I rather have that as like a game 2 or 3 situation if necessary, because like I don't want to show my cards because I did not reveal this, I believe, against any of Justin's friends who could have knew the information, but he might have been able to find out. So yeah, we're gonna get started. I led Fairforn because I want to catch a Gastrodon on the switch because Gastrodon was pretty tough. We're gonna see that it's going to be the lead of the Togekiss plus the Tyranitar right off the bat, and the only thing I was really scared of was a fire move on the Togekiss because I was pretty much certain it was Scope Lens. I just don't know if it was Flamethrower or not because it can vary sometimes. So I felt like a good mid-ground play was just to go for damage into the Togekiss slot with Ice Beam because Togekiss is kind of annoying for my team. I don't really have good switch into it, especially if it does have a fire move. So I felt like getting rid of Togekiss on the board was super important. So this turn, I think I just go for Ice Beam into the Togekiss slot to try and chip it away. And I think I just switch out the Fairforn into Arcanine to get the Intimidate off into the Tyranitar, it was very unlikely my opponent would go for max Rockfall. I think worst case would have been like Superpower Air Slash, which Arcanine might have been able to survive depending on if my opponent got the crit with the Togekiss. It is a 50% chance though. But I felt like definitely Arcanine was probably the most expendable, I think, as this caught me completely off guard. I actually didn't think Justin would Dynamax immediately. So the Tyranitar just goes straight for the Dynamax. I'm like, oh, I'm going to fall really behind on the damage output spectrum here. So Tyranitar Dynamaxes, I'm like thinking, I'm guessing it's going to be a max Knuckle, which means this Intimidate is kind of useless, and this Tyranitar is going to be kind of troublesome for me to handle. So the Togekiss goes for Protect here. So reading probably that I would expect to follow me and just go for the Ice Beam, because I wouldn't muddy water in this situation because Tyranitar does have weakness policy. So Justin gets a really good turn up because he's able to, one, protect his Togekiss from taking too much damage, so he can still have that follow me redirection pressure. And he basically negates my Intimidate with the max Knuckle. And now I can't really close combat to Tyranitar safely because of, again, that follow me, and I could lose my Arcanine here. So I'm already in a pretty bad position, even though it kind of looked all right from the turn one in theory, but right now it's kind of on the back foot. So I think I go for the Dynamax here because I gotta counter respond with a Dynamax at this point. Like I gotta try to get rid of Togekiss, I felt like, so I can get a close combat into Tyranitar. That was my thought process. So I think I just go for Protect with Arcanine and just go for a max Hailstorm, because I know Rockfall shouldn't be able to knock out Arcanine through the Protect, even with a little bit of chip from Sand afterward. I felt like it'd come really close, but I was pretty confident that I would survive. We're going to see that Justin makes a good play of going in Gastrodon. Of course, this protects the Tyranitar in case I went for a double up with the Max Geyser in the close combat. And I don't think Max Quake plus close combat would knock out the Tyranitar. I actually never really done this calc. So I feel like with Choice Band, I definitely would have. But since I'm a Life Orb set, it completely changed the calc. And I felt like maybe Justin knew this calc better than me. So I do go for the Dynamax with the Milotic as a counter response. And I just go for the Protect with Arcanine. As I said before, can't really afford to lose this Arcanine too early, because this Tyranitar is a threat. Tyranitar is a threat to this team that I do have. So Hailstorm does come out into the Gastrodon. It does an okay amount of damage. It does about 40%, which is really nice. And we do change the weather to create that Hailstorm effect. As Max Knuckle comes out once again, maybe trying to catch the Ferrothorn on the switch, or just trying to raise the attack in general. So this Tyranitar is a massive threat. So there are two plays here that can be devastating for me. So basically there are two things I could do. I can double up a slot and pick up a knockout on either one of these Pokemon, unless the Gastrodon has a recovery berry, like a Mago Berry or Figgy Berry. I go for the double in the Tyranitar, I think, because I feel like I have to call one of these Pokemon protecting or switching out here. So I think I go for the Tyranitar as an aggressive play here, but unfortunately my opponent just goes for the Max Guard, because like I wanted to get rid of Tyranitar, and I felt like Gastrodon wasn't really like huge mileage where I could, even if I got rid of Gastrodon, I didn't get like super big mileage off it. But I guess it was better than nothing, because I could at least KO the Gastrodon so I can target down. So at least I saved my Arcanine for another turn. The only thing is I felt like that brought in Togekiss, and that still put me in a really weird spot, because I think I would have had to call by Togekiss Protect to follow me the following turn. But I guess if I did KO the Gastrodon there, I could go for Hailstorm and close combat into Tyranitar. So that was a bit of a bad play for me, as Justin just makes a really safe play in general, especially if, I don't know what that item on Gastrodon is. I don't think I ever found out through the set, but if it is like one of those pinch berries, like the Figgy Berry or something, that was definitely just a safe play overall for him, unless close combat KO'd, which I really doubt. So now I'm like, okay, we're out of Sand. I think I can knock out, I'm like hoping at this point that Max Quake can knock out the Tyranitar. And yeah, I go into Ferrothorn to bait a superpower from the Tyranitar, because I feel like that's my best play, because obviously I can't lose my Ferrothorn is absolutely necessary in this matchup. And I frisked a Keyberry. Oh wait, I did frisk. I found out it was a Keyberry. I feel like I didn't pay attention to that detail. So, oh man. Okay, so close combat plus Hailstorm was probably the play into the Gastrodon earlier. I do go for Quake, but it does a lot less than I expected with the I really expected that to do a bit more. I wasn't expecting the knockout, but I was really expecting it to do just a little bit more. My opponent, Justin, just goes for Rock Slide instead, which caught me off guard, and the Yawn. And I'm like, oh no, this is probably game, because there are two things that can happen. One, I attack with my Lodic. Maybe I'm able to pick up a knockout, but the problem is I'm going to stay sleeping. With the Milo for the rest of the game, and most likely it's going to get knocked out. The second thing is I go into Ferrothorn, but the problem is if I go Ferrothorn, he has a very good chance just to go for superpower with Tyranitar into the Ferrothorn slot. But I felt like I had to risk it at this point and hope that he didn't target the Ferrothorn and that I was able to get my Lodic back in safely. But I think he just has a very safe Yawn play and Assurance into Dusclops. So I felt like no matter what, like there wasn't really much I could do here. And yeah, he did go for the Assurance into the Dusclops slot. So I do lose my Dusclops. It is weakness policy boosted. So it is at plus. And it also got the attack drop. It's actually like +3, I think. Because I got Intimidate off and he went for 2 max Knuckles. So yeah. And I do take the Yawn. So this game's pretty much a wrap. I don't want to really reveal information. Because like I'm pretty confident that Arcanine was in the back. At least at the time that I was playing this. I might have been Dusclops. I don't know. But I was like pretty confident that this game was over, because if it is Arcanine in the back, like you just get a Flare Blitz off into the Ferrothorn and he probably went with Gastrodon, because I'm assuming this Gastrodon probably doesn't have Protect if it has Yawn. So it's probably Yawn, Recover, Earth Power, Scald. Like that's what I was basically anticipating. So I forfeit just to save information at this point, and I tried to figure out my game 2, and I felt like this game was definitely winnable. I just got like one turn wrong that will just completely screwed over, and that's kind of the thing. As I said before, that's what I felt this matchup was like. If I get one call wrong, it's pretty bad. Like basically it's a swing of momentum, and he did get the call right. I think I should have probably went aggressive with the Gastrodon target, but yeah, I felt overall it was better to get rid of Tyranitar, which is why I made that play. But yeah, so Gastrodon would have been a better target there. So we do go into the game 2, and I'm like, it's pretty much, I don't want to go to Dragon Pulse Sableye mode just yet. It's not even good against what it's not even good against the lead my opponent brought. I felt like actually it would have been decent because I could have Steel Spiked immediately and a Trick, which wouldn't have been a bad spot. But I think it came down to 50-50 because this Togekiss carries Protect, which changes the matchup completely. Because if you Protect, I can't trick the Eject button, then Tyranitar can also like activate the Eject button immediately. So yeah, it's really tough, specifically because the Togekiss has Protect. I still don't know whether the Togekiss has a Fire move or not. That's the only thing. Like, I felt like it was pretty much likely that it didn't carry the Fire move, but like, if there is that chance, it could have that Fire move and could give me problems. So I felt like Ferrothorn Arcanine was an okay lead because it pretty much helps with what my opponent led against me last time. And again, I want to lead Ferrothorn because I do want to threaten the Gastrodon, especially if Gastrodon leads here, because I don't want Gastrodon to have a good position where it can just keep clicking Yawn and forcing me to switch or take that turn of sleep, and that would pretty much drive my momentum down. So I lock in with the same 4 in a different order. He does lead the Gastrodon plus the Togekiss this time, as I do lead my Ferrothorn plus my Arcanine here. And I think I make an aggressive play, and I think I just predicted Togekiss not to have the Fire move, because I feel like I need it, and I feel like he doesn't have the Fire move. So I think I Dynamax right away. Yep, go for the Max Steel Spike and the Togekiss, because he doesn't really have a good switch to Max Steel Spike. And if I can boost on my Lodic, that's also really good. So I think I just go for Max Steel Spike, switch to my Lodic, because my Lodic can take the Earth Power or the Scald that this Gastrodon wants to go through. I can boost my defenses. Togekiss again can Protect, I guess, but I'm not too sure, because it's kind of a risky spot for Justin because of the fact that you know, there is that Power Whip potential in the Gastrodon. I also double into my Lodic, not only to take an Earth Power Scald, but also to catch the potential Arcanine to switch, because Arcanine's going to be the first one to switch out of the field. So I could bait the Arcanine coming in and get an Intimidate boost with my Milotic, and the Steel Spike boost allows me to lift Flare Blitz from a Arcanine. So that's basically why I made this play overall. I felt like it was a really good turn one play no matter what. The Tyranitar comes in for the Togekiss slot, which is amazing for me. I felt like because of the fact that this Tyranitar was a huge threat to me in the first game. So I'm like, okay, I get a huge Steel Spike off into the Tyranitar, which is amazing. And it looked like the Gastrodon stayed in, so I knew that it most likely, I felt like, was clicking Earth Power. Probably Justin just thinking I wouldn't go for Power because I do have that follow me. Like, Justin did have that follow me pressure and definitely could have clicked it. So We do go for the Earth Power into the Milotic, which won't do too much damage because Milotic is a pretty bulky Pokemon. And Max Steel Spike does come out into the Tyranitar, and as you can see, it does a whopping amount of damage to where if Tyranitar Dynamax is going down to any one hit. So Tyranitar Dynamax is most likely out of the equation here. And I felt pretty good about this. It activates the weakness policy, but the Milotic is in, so it's faster than the Tyranitar. So overall, pretty safe turn, because even if Togekiss can come in, it can't redirect the Muddy Water, and Muddy Water is very safe. I think here I go for an aggressive read and I Steel Spike the Gastrodon, and I think I click Ice Beam into the Tyranitar if I remember right, because I'm trying to catch the Togekiss, and I felt like Justin wasn't gonna let me KO the Gastrodon potentially with Max Overgrowth, because that would put him in a really awkward spot. And he does switch out to Tyranitar, but it's in the Dusclops, so I'm like, oh, there's no Arcanine, which I was actually super surprised about. So Dusclops reveals itself here, uses the Frisk, finds out my items, and the Gastrodon just stays in. So Justin did get me there. I think he anticipated me to overcommit, and he definitely got the better off the turn. He goes for the Yawn into the Ferrothorn, as I do go for the Max Steel Spike into the Gastrodon. Again, I tried to catch the Togekiss because I thought he might try to play defensively against this Dynamax Ferrothorn, because this Ferrothorn is a pretty big threat, especially next to the Milotic, because if he had Arcanine, it couldn't exactly switch in without giving me like some kind of momentum boost. And the Key Berry does activate on the Gastrodon. So here I was like, this is a pretty tough position, of course, because he could switch out next turn, he could switch out this turn. Like, he has a bunch of options. I think I just go for the Overgrow here, and I go for the Recover with Milotic, because I felt like overall this didn't lose me much here. And the Gastrodon couldn't protect since it doesn't have protect, but Justin made a great play. This was a really good play from him, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't exactly think about this play that he could do. So he Dynamaxes Gastrodon, and that is absolutely huge because of the fact that this Gastrodon, because it doesn't have protect, but it can max guard because of Dynamax. So yeah, he max guards here, which means I'm put in a really terrible spot here, because now my Ferrothorn is stayed asleep and he can abuse some Dynamax turns. So really smart play from Justin. I gotta give him props for that, where, you know, you gotta give props if your opponent made the good play. So the Trick Room comes out from the Dusclops, and at this point it's looking pretty bad. It's definitely winnable though. Since my Ferrothorn's pretty healthy, I can still win this game. It's just really going to come down to how well I play the end game. I don't remember what I did here exactly though. I think I tried to take the turn of sleep with Ferrothorn, and I think I hard switched into Clops. Yeah, I don't remember what I was trying to do with this play. I think I expected him to double up the Milotic slot and was trying to preserve the Milotic. So I go into Dusclops because I need to take a turn of sleep with Ferrothorn eventually, and I didn't want, and I felt like using Dusclops as a pivot here, as he just goes straight for the Nightshade and the Quake into Ferrothorn, because he knows if he gets rid of Ferrothorn, it's going to be really tough for me to break through Gastrodon. So he does go for the Max Quake in the Nightshade double up, which I'm able to take decently well, because of course I am the Assault Vest and Gastrodon doesn't have the best special attack in the world. But the problem is this Gastrodon +1 defense, +1 special defense, the Ferrothorn is asleep. I don't exactly have the best answers. I do have Haze on the Dusclops, but I'm going to have to find a way to even touch Gastrodon even after this. So I think I try to go for the Wake Up here, and I think I Pain Split, but yeah, I do go for the Pain Split into my Ferrothorn to hope that I can survive one more double up here. Ferrothorn takes another turn of sleep, as Nightshade does come out here, and I do go for the Pain Split to try something. Like, I gotta try something at this point, so I do go for the self Pain Split here and heal back to where I do live another Max Quake. But unfortunately, the thing is, I needed the Ferrothorn to wake up there because I really needed the damage in the Gastrodon. The power would probably wouldn't have KO'd, but the damage would have been absolutely huge. And if I woke up there, I got to follow up onto the Gastrodon the following turn, which would have been huge. But since I'm stayed asleep, now this is a pretty poor spot for me regardless. So Gastrodon's Dynamax is over, but the thing is, he can switch out the Gastrodon now, and I have to preserve Ferrothorn. Like, now I feel like if I want to win this game, I'm going to have to find a position with Ferrothorn under Trick Room and get rid of everything next to the Dusclops, because I feel like that's my only way to break through Ferrothorn, break through Gastrodon at this point. So I think I go for Pain Split here to get some HP back with my Dusclops, and I'm going to switch out into my Milotic because Milotic can now tank the attacks decently well and can recover up the damage. So I felt like this was okay. Justin makes a really good play though. He does preserve the Gastrodon. He doesn't want to take the Power Whip because he knows it's a win con. He goes in Tyranitar and I'm like, oh, he got me. He got me. So does activate the Sand Stream with Tyranitar, but I will be Pain Splitting that Pokemon. Nightshade does come out into the Milotic slot, so it's not like the end, but that's pretty bad because I give him some health back, but at least I knew he's still in Nightshade range. But the problem is I EV'd my Dusclops to have speed IVs. So the thing is, or I had speed IVs on the Dusclops, so I'm like pretty confident that his Dusclops is min speed, or at least or at least 1 point faster than min speed, because I think I speed creeped IVs for 2 for opposing Dusclops in the mirror outer trick room. But now this is kind of a weird spot because yeah, there's not really much I can do at this point. He can Nightshade, but the thing is that he would try to rest the speed tie, so this is kind of an interesting spot. I think my only play though is to attempt to get the Nightshade off into Tyranitar, and I need to knock out the Tyranitar because that Tyranitar is a problem. He does go for the Pain Split instead into Tyranitar, which I was surprised about, which does allow him to live the Nightshade. I think maybe he just didn't want to risk me being at the out of Nightshade range, but I feel like he was. So he does take a bit of damage, which is okay because Muddy Water. This is probably better for me realistically because like he lowered his Dusclops health a little bit more. So I am able to knock out the Tyranitar. I knew that Gastrodon probably wasn't going to switch in because he had good offensive pressure with the Tyranitar there, and he was probably getting the maximum value for what Tyranitar could do unless he sacked the Tyranitar later in the game. Trick Room returns to normal, and I'm like, okay, this game's definitely winnable because even though I have a low health Ferrothorn, his Gastrodon's boosts are no longer a thing because there is no Key Berries boost from the Gastrodon. So it can go down to Close Combat plus Ice Beam at this point. So I'm like, okay, Togekiss is going to come in. I can't really bring Ferrothorn out anyway. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go for Muddy Water and Flare Blitz the Dusclops slot. And no, I think I Muddy Water Wild Charge the Dusclops slot anyway, because I needed damage on Togekiss because there wasn't no way that I was going to be able to knock out the Togekiss. I was worried about Follow Me Trick Room too, or Protect. I was trying to cover for both Follow Me Trick Room and Protect a Dusclops doing something. So I felt like Wild Charge covered both of these plays with Muddy Water, because if he doesn't follow me, I'm able, and like protects, I get the KO on Dusclops with the double up. And if he does follow me, Wild Charge gets redirected. He goes straight for the Air Slash though into Arcanine instead. Doesn't get the critical hit, fortunately, because I think it is Scope Lens on the Togekiss. Muddy Water does come out and knock out the Dusclops, and now this game is actually doable. The only problem is I still have to play really well. We do get an accuracy drop on the Togekiss, which was, you know, a little bit extra. Like, I don't think I needed it. But the thing is, I'm hoping that Ice Beam can put this Togekiss in range, and that's basically what I'm hoping for. Like, I think I needed Ice Beam to KO the Togekiss here, and at this range with my Expert Belt. So that's basically what I was going for. I was hoping that this is an offensive Togekiss, or if it's defensive, at least be like a Bold Nature with not much special defense. I'm hoping that Expert Belt, Ice Beam plus Sand damage can KO at this point. So I protect my Arcanine here because one, it protects from the Earth Power, obviously, and then I also was scouting for the Togekiss Protect as well. So the Togekiss does protect on my opponent's side, but I think I made a huge misplay. I was expecting to protect. I don't remember why I Ice Beamed here. I think it's because I was like, Earth Power doesn't change anything in this game, but I knew that there was a Protect most likely for Togekiss, so I could have went for two plays. I could have went for Close Combat Ice Beam into Gastrodon, and that would have probably 100% sealed the game. Or I could have went for Recover, and that would have been a decent mid-ground play. So I'm actually surprised I Ice Beamed here. I don't know what I was thinking about Ice Beaming. I think you can definitely tell I'm not playing exactly at the highest, or at least at the more confident side of me. So I switch out Arcanine and go out on a Ferrothorn because I know that it can take a Dazzling Gleam Earth Power, which means he has to knock out a Pokemon by doubling into it. So he does go for Dazzling Gleam, gets a critical hit on my Milotic, which isn't a big deal. If I can KO the Togekiss here, I'm in a good spot. But unfortunately, I barely missed a knockout into Togekiss, and this is the problem of not running max special attack. As he goes for Yawn, actually. I don't remember why he went for Yawn. And Sand subsides at like the worst possible moment. I'm like, oh, That's very bad. Because now I just lose because I guarantee lose at this point. Because now his Togekiss is faster than me and he gets to click Dazzling Gleam and there's nothing. I was hoping that Ice Beam knocked out the Togekiss. And then I could... Because if he goes for like an Earth Power, right? There. He Earth Powers either Milotic or Ferrothorn. And I could go... And if he KOs Milotic, I get Arcanine in, and he pretty much does have to Earth Power the Arcanine, and I think I have to hope for a 3-turn sleep. I don't remember if I was guaranteed to wake up with Ferrothorn at that point. I think I took 2 turns of sleep, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, I was basically going for maximum odds, but unfortunately, the Ice Beam just did not KO the Togekiss, and, yeah, my game plan complete collapse. I think I played the second to last turn really poorly though. I don't know why I went for Ice Beam. I think I should have went for the recover, or at least since I did make the read correctly, I should have went for the double up into the Gastrodon, since I was pretty much expecting at this point, because I'm pretty sure Life Orb Close Combat and Ice Beam KO'd at 75%. But yeah, unfortunately that was the end of my Champions Cup run. It is a single elimination bracket at this point, so I am out of the tournament. But I gotta say, I can't be really too ashamed about that one. I mean, I was ashamed about how I played because I felt like I could have played that set, of course, completely better. But there's no shame losing it to Justin Burns. Really good player overall, and that is like, I think our third encounter. I can't remember right. He played really well this set, and I can't really say anything like bad. I can't like even complain about hacks because there was no luck. It was just a good set overall. So yeah, I can only blame myself because of the like the game 1 I played pretty poorly, and then game 2, like I had some parts of it, like some turns were really good, and then I might have overcapitalized at wrong points, but I think that second to last turn, that's still like, I'm looking back at it and I'm like, why did I do that? I think maybe I expected it was to cover for Togekiss attacking there, but I'm not too sure. I'm really not too sure at that point, but I hope everyone enjoyed the content from the Champions Cup. That was my final match of the tournament I had for you. So I hope that everyone enjoyed. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like down below, show support, as well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, including my side series, my channel, and my main series on the channel. And if you would like to see more tournament matches, analyses in the future, let me know in the comments down below, as it does really help me out once again. You can check me out live streaming on Twitch, where I do live stream. I'll also be doing an online tournament actually this weekend. It's not going to be a best of 3 tournament, but it is going to be the May International Challenge. So I will be streaming that. So if you're interested in seeing more tournament related games, you could go check me out on my Twitch channel. Otherwise, yeah, let me know again what you thought about these analyses in a row, and maybe if there's enough support, I will enter another online tournament in the future and do more of these online analysis tournaments. But let me know what you thought about my post commentary too. I thought it was super refreshing to do post commentary, and I definitely am looking back and seeing how I could have played better in each of these sets. So that was really enjoyable. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I was worried that my post commentary was a bit rusty, especially since I really haven't done it in a while, but a lot of you seem to enjoy it, so I'm really glad. Again, you can check out my stuff down below. You can check out my community Discord if you want to interact with me, ask me VGC questions, or interact with my awesome community where we help each other team build and a bunch of other stuff. But otherwise, yeah, that's going to be pretty much it. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day, people. And until we battle again, I'll catch you all later.